How you doing? And welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed and this is Just Play It. My series dedicated to songs I am making arrangements for and enjoy teaching. If you've been following along, we have been looking at Autumn in New York by Vernon Duke. We're going to be taking a look at measures 20 through 24 in this video. Before we get started, please ring the bell and subscribe so that you know when your next lesson is coming up. So let's take a look at measure 20. For most of the song, we have been looking at G minor being our central idea for the main idea of the song. In this group, we're going to be doing a little bit of a key change to a C minor 7 chord. I like using a bar on my 8th fret to create this chord. So as we do it, we're going to be looking at this little pattern. So here I'm using my bass note C and making the rest of the chord here. So I have my E flat, my G, and now I'm using my D as my bass note. So as I create this bar, I walk through D to C, then I move up a string to B flat to E flat. Sorry, not E flat, B flat to G. So the pattern is D, C, B flat, G. From here, I use only a couple of parts of a D minor 7 chord. So this is a pretty easy transition considering that all you're doing is using a bar and moving your bar back. You can build a full D minor 7 chord if it's just more automatic for your hand to do, but I like to just play the notes that I'm working with. So in our first measure, we end up with this pattern. One more time. A big trick to this is making sure your bass note stays ringing as long as possible before having to move. From here, we're going to slide this D minor 7 forward to an E flat minor 7 and work out a little melody here. So from here, we have our E flat minor 7 shape. I'm just removing the 5th because I'm not playing it, and walking through the notes. So I'm playing E flat as my first note. If you're following along in the real book, you'll notice that there is a tied note from the D minor 7, but I'm using this to establish my chord. From here, I'm playing my F sharp note, or G flat note, to a regular B, to C. So, and we're going to travel using this same idea up to an F7 shape. And here I'm just playing the note F and the note D flat. Okay, that's enough to get us going. So this is the second half of our second measure. I'm going to reach out for an E flat. And here I'm going to put this A down because I want to play just the notes A and C. Now normally I would have my F still ringing while this is playing. It kind of faded out while we were setting this idea up. If we put these two ideas together, it'll sound like this. Notice the F is still ringing. Now as we travel into our last two measures, we have some basic ideas that I'm just letting ring. So this is what is going to be considered a B flat minor 6 chord with my note D flat as my melody note. Now I'm going to drop down and do the same thing with an A flat minor style chord with my B as the melody note. And then we're going to repeat that idea again on G flat with my note A as the melody note. From here, I created a little pattern. This isn't in the original song, but what I'm trying to do is get back to that note D flat, which is the melody note. So I put this little pattern in, which basically follows the bottom of a G minor pentatonic pattern. And then we just let that ring. So as we go through our last few measures, we have our B flat minor, A flat minor, G flat minor, and a little pattern. So my goal was to get back to this note D flat after I used that same idea here, just in an octave difference. So if we put these ideas together, it should sound like this. C minor 7, D minor 7, E flat minor 7, F7, to B flat minor, A flat minor, G flat minor, in the original score from the real book, they use like B flat minor 6 and A flat minor 7, as well as G flat 7. All of these ideas I'm changing and kind of mocking because I need them to fit a certain format. I could play a G flat 7 with. I didn't think that the addition of the 7th actually sounded good enough for me to keep it. So I changed it and made it a minor. This won't really affect the overall outcome of that section. In fact, some people might like it more. If you don't, you can add the 7th in if you would like to. From here, let's practice this with a little bit of time, and I'll give you a tab so that you can review and have something to work on. So first, let's try this with a little bit of time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's check this out with the tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this section, we are setting up the ending for the song. The ending for the song has a little bit more of a somber tone than the beginning, even though the beginning isn't exactly the happiest sounding song. Remember, it's called Autumn in New York. So it's the idea of the leaves are changing, it's getting chilly, and we're getting ready for winter. That's why the end of the song seems a little bit darker than when we started, because we're not going to spring or summer. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Compliments are nice, but questions let me know that you're working on these things. If you have an opportunity and you would like to donate on Patreon, this might be able to provide me with more time to do these kinds of videos more often. If you've learned something in this video, please remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you know when your next lesson is coming. Good luck and good practice.